Hey everyone, Nick here again, back to talk about The Walking Dead. This is my review of episode 12 of season 8. And, after episode 11, I said that I really hope the next episode steps up. And this episode was a very welcome step in the right direction. So, I do appreciate it. This was one of the most action-oriented episodes in a while, certainly the most action-oriented in this half of the season. And the action scenes were pretty exciting, although occasionally implausible. For me, the highlights of it were the one-on-one cat and mouse scenes with Rick, like when they're taunting each other, and then when they actually find each other and they go at it mano-a-mano. That was really cool to see. It was well choreographed. It was very exciting to watch. And I really enjoyed it. As a huge fan of 90s action movies, I grew up on those kinds of movies. So the implausibility doesn't bother me too much, within reason. But I will expand on that later on in the video. We got some more scenes at the hilltop. And, Maggie was starting to turn a little Negan-ish in the episode when they found Georgie and her friends, the really weird twins. Maggie just took them and said, "We're just going to take their stuff." And I'm like, really, Maggie? You're coming dangerously close to the guy who killed your husband. Are you proud of yourself right now? But in the end, Michonne did convince her to take the deal that Georgie was offering, and to me, that was the first time that it felt like Carl's dying wishes were being honored. Because that was the whole thing I heard about Carl's death. He's going to be like a voice of reason that's going to drive everyone forward in this half of the season, and haven't really seen that yet, but Michonne convincing Maggie to do the deal for Carl, that made me happy, because finally it seemed like Carl's dying wishes were being honored, or even acknowledged, to be honest. Speaking of Georgie, she is interesting, for sure. I mean, my first thought was like, really, they're bringing in another group? But, to be fair, Oceanside just shows up once every, 8 episodes, and then does nothing. Plus, the trash people were just wiped out except for Jadis, and about half the kingdom was wiped out, so, I got over it. And I feel like she is trustworthy. I mean, look, trustworthy or not, she did leave Maggie some pretty solid blueprints for the future. I mean, they looked solid. I didn't read them, obviously. No one did, but, I feel like if they were trying to play them in some way, I don't think Georgie would have left them those blueprints. I don't know. Georgie seems pretty honest and straightforward, so I'm giving her the benefit of the doubt for now. Simon is continuing to just be so fascinating to watch. He's such a good character. I love him. I hate him, but I love him. And he's just becoming more and more sinister every single episode now. And last season I kind of got the sense that he had some darkness in him, but we didn't get to see too much of it. But this season he has been just getting crazier and crazier and crazier. And I'm here for it. And this was him at his absolute creepiest, and I do appreciate it. I don't think he's long for this show, but he's definitely going to be remembered after he's gone. One other thing I really loved about this episode was the ending, where Negan woke up in Jadis' car. She's holding him at gunpoint. That was pretty satisfying, I must say. And I think that this has a lot of potential. Like, this could go in several different directions. I feel like she's probably going to try to bargain to get Simon and trade him for Negan, but, she doesn't really like Negan much either. She doesn't like anyone. She is on her own at this point, and she's always been kind of like the neutral evil type, and you know, I think Simon is at the top of her list, but I can't imagine she likes Negan too much either. And to be honest, I'm starting to think she might try to come after Rick as well. I thought maybe she'd try and team up with him, but I don't know. I just don't see it at this point. All I know is I'm excited to see where it goes with her, because she has finally turned the corner and become more interesting than ridiculous. I did have a few issues with the episode, namely Rick firing probably a couple dozen bullets at Negan and missing every single time. He didn't even graze him. And, you know, at least with the assault rifle, he should have at least gotten a graze or something. You know, when he was reduced to his pistol, Negan's running through the dark halls, like, yeah, okay, that's a little more logical as to how he might miss him, but I don't know how Rick has missed him so many times by shooting at him. And again, like with all the 90s action movies I've watched, that probably doesn't seem like something I should complain about too much, but it was a little excessive. Also, the show has had a tendency, since Carl died, to keep bringing up how he was the future. And every time they do that, it just makes me angry. I'm just sitting there like, why did you kill him then? They say it, I'm pretty sure they've said it in every episode since Carl died. Like, yeah, he's the future. So, why is he dead? It's almost like the show is rubbing it in a way, and I'm not crazy about that. Sorry, I'm not. I don't like that, and I really wish they'd stop. Or bring Carl back to life. But overall, I'm going to give this episode an 8 out of 10. It was definitely not perfect, but it was a huge step in the right direction, and easily it's the best episode of this half of the season so far. Hands down. Like, there's no real question. This was just the most fun and the least depressing. So yeah, that'll do it for this video, and I'll see you next time.